Hi, this is Johnny Shannon from Geospatial Insight, and after a little hiatus, we're going back to have a look at browser-based apps in M.App Enterprise. But before we dive in, let's have a look at the data that we'd like to use. This is a digital surface model of Great Britain, 50 meters, that's available free from the Ordnance Survey, and it's really nice data. And what we want to do is to bring this into an application so that we can start viewing things in M.App Enterprise in 3D. Okay, let's log into our event and have a look at the content page. So here we've already seen how we've added imagery and vector data, vector sets, so on and so forth, and we have 3D data here. But if we click on the New button, then we can see we can add elevation, 3D tiles, panoramics, it's elevation we want. We need to get this 3D data from Fusion Import. And the way we do that is, first of all, you need to have M.App Enterprise Pro. And then if you pop down to Tools, then we can see we've got Fusion Studio. And if we click on there, it launches the Luciad Fusion Studio. Everything here is based on Luciad. And then we can have a look at the Data tab. Now we can add data if we have the data local to the Luciad server, or you can see it. But you can also upload data as long as it's below 4 gigabytes, and most of the data I've got here is below 4 gigabytes, so that's great. I've already prepared the data here because it takes a little bit of time to upload. It's not that big, it's only a few hundred megabytes, but still, for purposes of the video, let's smooth things along. And once we have the data in, then we want to create a service, and so it can be fed into M.App Enterprise. And again, if we click on the Services tab here, it's already there and running. But if we have a look and see what the box for creating services, just give it a title, give it a name, and then the service type is all these different web services. And for elevation, we'll be wanting LTS. You can see it needs to be elevation data for an LTS, and then we just go ahead with that, and then it takes a few minutes to get the service up and running. But once it is, we can head back to our M.App Enterprise Studio, and you can see that on the new 3D service, we can just click on OS Terrain 50, and again, I prepared this earlier, and so if we click off here onto content, on 3D data, there's our OS Terrain 50 ready for us to use. If we have a look at the legends that we looked at before, then again, I've put that in as a 3D data set. And so now we can look at the map views and find our REPD and edit that, enable the preview. And then if I head over to somewhere which has some hills, you can see that as we zoom in, we are getting a little bit of hill shading on there, which is good. And the reason we're getting hill shading is because on some of the effects, we've ticked on the sunlight. And so we've got this kind of 3D hill shading effect on there. That's great. Now we can head over onto the dashboard and have a look and see what it looks like in our application. And if we just fire this up, and let's get rid of a couple of things I'm not that interested in. Don't want the admin boundaries, don't want a new chart, and we can zoom in. Let's just have a look at the onshore wind as well, and then we can zoom in and have a look. If we go closer, then there we are. We can see that we've got a 3D effect there. And if we start going into 3D, we can see the hill shade effect there. We can also have a look at the effects. If we want to change the position of the sun, we can absolutely do that. We can just change the time, and the shading changes depending on the time of day. And there's also a neat thing that we've got here as well. We can look at line of sight, and if we say that those are about 10 meters above the ground, then we can just change the eye position, and as we move around we can see the line of sight on there as well. which is quite neat. There's quite a few other little effects that we can bring in as well. But there we have it. That's how you can bring 3D data into M.App Enterprise. That's all from me for now. I do hope that's been useful. If you have any questions, leave a comment. Do like and subscribe. But until the next time, I shall see you soon.